everyone, and welcome back to the RedSeaPodcast. As you all can notice right off the top, this show looks a bit different. This show is going to be recorded. It's going to be pre-recorded. Uh, this comes due to my busy scheduling mostly. Uh, and like I said last time, nothing is gonna change show-wise. These are just gonna come just once in a while. Um, the difference you will also see is that the camera is way different, more or less, because I am trying to record this through my laptop, and if it goes well, the pre-recorded episodes will probably be recorded through the laptop. Now, to start off with the episode, episode 2 of the Red Sea Chronicles is to come out live streamed like normal next week. We are aiming for Thursday, but that will be officially announced very soon. And the guest is a very dear friend of mine and someone that helped me immensely when this show started by coming on not once, not twice, but three times, two times on here, and him having me on once, having me and Gab, of course, on once. Those of you who know will realize what I'm talking about, and those of you that are relatively new will have to wait for next week. As always, stuff is going to be in the description down below, the Instagram and Twitter, where you can check out as constant of updates as I possibly can put out, and as validated per se. Especially now that we are in the transfer window, I try my best to make sure that everything is as correct as it can be, at least with it being a rumor. And I always try my best to take stuff from sources I uh, I judge as reliable, and of course tell you guys said sources. But just as a reminder, I am not a professional, nor will I ever be. Pretend speaking as a fan, calling my opinion. And for you guys, Nico was always going to be the voice of the voiceless, per se, and a chance for fans to have a platform to express their own opinion. That is not going to change for anything or anyone. Now, to quickly move on to the important subject of this one, of course, the destructive win against Bayern, with the score being 112 to 69. I think it's the most comfortable game of basketball I can recall. I don't think that in my about 11 years since I was 10 years old that I've been so into basketball and Olympiacos. I've seen such a comfortable game. At least they are very, very minimal. Uh, and honestly, it's such a magical performance that you can't even sit down and say much about it. Of course, in the forefront, the shining star, especially covering Evans and Papanikolaou's absence to the 110% of his abilities was our MVP, Sasha Vezenkov, with 45 points, 5 points away from the Euroleague scoring record of all time. 7 rebounds, 2 assists with 10 out of 10 all from the 2 points. 8 out of 10 from the 3-point line. If you guys see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my phone where I have everything noted down. And 52, an insane 52 on the rating. So close to the record. So close. And I think it's going to just keep being like this for Sasha this year. I've said it many times, and I have absolutely zero problem saying it again and again, that Sasha will be even greater than we remember him as, that Sasha picked up stuff from his year of in the NBA. Despite not getting many minutes, Sasha did pick up even more stuff to improve his game, and he's going from dropping a casual 20 to a casual 30 to now 40 in 5. Because Jesus Christ, that's Sasha Vezenkov. And again, I don't know how, well, I do know how Alec Peters, and I'll get to him in a second, but I don't know how we went a year without Sasha. History deservingly written. I think that's the best description of how the game went for him. Spoke about him with a 15, 6, and 3 in 24 minutes with a steal to accompany that, going 5 from 11 field goal wise, and having 2 out of 2 free throws. It is Alec Peters. Oh, by the way, one of the most impressive things, I'm sure you all know, but I have to point it out. One of the most impressive things of Sasha's historic night is that he did all that with one free throw. One. Just once again demolishing useless arguments, especially from Panathinaikos quote fans, that he does all this because he earns free throws easily and the Flopenko stuff, etc., with absolute fucking bullshit like that. So yeah, speaking of Alec Peters now, I think the biggest analogy of wording that I can put in place for Alec is blessing. Having a player of his quality, who for me is, despite the lesser minutes from last year, having a player of his quality play with us behind the best power forward in the Euroleague. He doesn't care if he plays 25 or 5 minutes, doing his best each and every time, not complaining, bleeding for this jersey day in and day out, training, games, anything, losses, wins, giving his 100% every single time he's out there. And just being so positive constantly. It's undescribable how lucky we are to have Alec in this squad. Of course, everyone's saying, I've said it as well, we are blessed to witness Sasha Vezenkov and Evan Fournier in the squad, but some people deserve their flowers way more than they are getting given, and one of those, and I think, if not the top, one of the top of those people is Alec Peters, who will be, honestly, always has been an absolute warrior, no matter his role at this club, which he loves so much. And another person, speaking of warrior, another person that is going through a second prime, another person that's gone from the couch coaches and the dumbasses behind the anonymity of Twitter and everything like that, going from, we don't need him, he doesn't fit in the rotation, and stuff like that. He's going to having the best season of his Olympiacos career, his Olympiacos long career now, growing slowly to become one of the best, if not the best, American contribution wise that's ever played for Olympiacos. And of course, I am talking about Shaquille McGissick. Shaquille McGissick coming in yesterday due to the absence of Evan Fournier and Kostas Papanikolaou. Shaq being there again, grabbing another chance by the horns, playing 28 minutes with 16, 2, 5, 1 steal, going 5 out of 9 with 56%, and 5 out of 7 free throws, with 1 3 as well. That's, for me, Shaq has gone way beyond the legend for this club. You all know, especially those of you who know me a bit beyond the show, you know the absolute admiration I have for Shaquille McGissick, the absolute love I have for him, not only as a player, but as a person, and all he's given to this club, the long, long time he's here. And honest to God, I hope he retires here because he deserves it. And I think this season will get better and better for Sark as well. He's shown it, he's shown that he's in an immense state. We're in round 20 and his consistency hasn't even dipped for more than a game or two. And honestly, it's incredible. It really just is incredible. Even though after a win like that, you can't really just sit down and say much more for anybody. But it's so incredible what Shaq has been doing throughout all of this amazing season. And I just hope he keeps doing it. And above all, I pray to God that he stays healthy. I really, really pray to God that he stays healthy. And going to another duo, honestly, that have been absolutely incredible, and that's Luca Vildoza and Mustafa Fall. I've said it before, I'll say it again. We found the perfect role player in Luca Vildoza, who honestly is fighting for his say at the starting five spot every single game. Luca coming in with a 4-5, with a 4-6 and 2. Just Luca's passion and Luca's just no, I'm sorry. I missed. I completely messed up the start line. Lucas came in. Luca came in with a 12, 4, and 6 with 2 steals. That's it. Lucas' passion, Lucas just Lucas' joy, Lucas' flair, I think is a better word, has been such an absolute joy to sit down and watch. And I honestly don't know how people didn't rate him because he had a more or less inactive year over at Panathinaikos. While we've only seen what he's done in the past, what he's done in Baskonia, what he's done in Zvezda. We've seen what he's done with his career. He's an incredibly talented, incredibly passionate player that, again, for me, he's gonna be our underrated transfer of the season and our surprise of the season, according to most of the people that just refuse to rate him for some reason. And of course, moving on to the other mentioned name, our tall, tower, honestly, on the paint, with that being Mustafa Tfal, with a 10, 5, and 3, with a blog to add to it. Moose is slowly, just after a slight dip, we're seeing the Moose we all know and love again. Moose at the back, especially, was amazing. And she, more or less every single time, he is the pillar of our defensive work, and he was that again. And with the defense starting from him and moving out, you just know you won't lose the game. You won't lose games. At the least, you won't lose games without the fight. And we saw the absolute demolition yesterday. Moving in to another positive before I go on the absolute rant I want to go on. Uh, that was Goss. Nigel Williams Goss coming in with a 6 and 6 with 5 steals at it. A defensive masterclass by Goss. NWJ who shared the absolute worst from this team's fan base, at least from a majority, the scapegoat of Olympiacos we see for some reason, and again just proving people wrong again and again and again. It's funny, honestly. It really just is funny to me how people just find, and the rant is starting earlier than I expected, but screw it, here goes. It's insane to me, and I put that out on Twitter yesterday. Go follow me if you don't. It's insane to me, especially, not especially, mostly on the basketball team, that people just find something to whine for, to just cry about, to find misery about, even in wins like the one we just saw. Just crying over Dorsey, just criticizing Barjokas, finding each and every excuse to just tear this team down. And the ridiculous thing is that it comes from our people, and they don't get it. In what can easily be a year for this team. The Euroleague championship that we're waiting for long, that we have broken year and year for the past few years, in the worst way possible as well. I feel like if, knock on wood, we do get to that final and we do win that championship, people are gonna find something to complain about. I feel like that for some reason is not even a minority. That is a way too big of a part in our fan base. And I don't get why. I've discussed this with some lovely people that I met through here. And no one can find a solid reason other than misery and stupidity. You have Panathinaikos fans for crying out, admiring Vesenkov and Olympiacos' basketball. And you have Olympiacos, quote unquote, fans saying why this and that. It's insane. My brain can't comprehend it. It really can't. It's insane to me. I'm sorry if I yelled. For all of those of you listening, either through speakers or headphones, I'm sorry if I yelled. But it's crazy to me. And especially the targeting of Coach Barjota. I'm still not forgetting the people calling for his head a few months ago, with the team sitting high and mighty top alone now, we're top of the Euroleague on our own now. It's crazy. It's so crazy to me. Christ. And moving on to the person of the round and the last performance I will focus on before moving on to the Euroleague in general. I don't get how we can have such a historic night, as I said, people misery. I don't get how a game like that can be played and people talk about Tyler fucking Dorsey getting 4 minutes again. It's clear why he's not getting minutes, in my opinion. And even if it wasn't, the team is getting results in again and again. 14-6, top of the league, top of the Euroleague. I'm sorry. And people are just looking into why Tyler isn't playing when he hasn't contributed once after the Super Cup game. He's done nothing. He's shown signs, but he's done nothing. Dipping immediately after a positive. And if the coach doesn't want to play him, even if the coach doesn't want him in the team, even if Dorsey's contract is terminated, with no say in that. Because clearly something is wrong. And if Coach B thinks he should go, he'll go. And it should be like that. The team isn't based around Tyler. Tyler came in to be a rotational player. And if he doesn't want that or can't perform in that role, he can go. Or he can keep getting these 5 minutes. I don't know why people complain and think they know better than the coach of the team. I don't get it. I really don't. Back to the positives though. As I said, top with 14-6, with 121 point differential, with a streak of 5 wins. Second, of course, stands Panathinaikos, 13-7, with Monaco, 13-7 as well. Fenerbahce standing fourth with 12-7. Of course, the game that still hasn't been played against Paris, with Zvezda now about fifth with 12-8, and Paris completing the top six with 11-8. As I mentioned, the game not played against Zvezda. We have Baskonia next. Baskonia stand at 15th with 8-12, and if I'm not completely mistaken, let me look that up. We have Real next, but let me actually check just to have that a bit more of certainty and to not just completely BS you guys. Yes, we have Baskonia and Real both in Spain in a matter of 2 days. Double week coming up, of course. And then follows 2 games at home against the Turkish clubs of the Euroleague in Fenerbahce and Efes. We need to be at the top of our game like we were against Bayern every single game. Now, we're in the final stretch of games. Of course, still a bit to go, but still the relative final stretch of games. And we need to just be at the top of our game more and more. Like this team it can do that. If we're behind this team, it can do that. And the peace in Friendship Stadium, it needs to be like it was. It was a rare time where the fans were electric, and it should be like that. Closing off, I guess, this my main message is that be behind this thing because it won't disappoint you. I'll see you all tomorrow. I hope you enjoy the game against Aris. I've been facing some slight issues with YouTube, but I'm hoping this will go out before the game. And I'll see you all tomorrow to just look back at the football. More than happy to be giving you guys more and more. I appreciate the support so much. Check out everything down below. Announcements for everything coming on Twitter and Insta, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.